Hello again, Muscle Machines fans. Here's an older casting, number 19 in the lineup. It's the Old Smokey 49 Ford F1 pickup. Now, when I thought about F1, I was thinking this is like some custom because it literally has a giant wing on there, like Formula 1 pickup. But no, it turns out actually a 49 was called an F1 pickup. So, okay. When did this toy come out? It's usually down here. I can't see. Yeah, it's all the boxes all torn up, so I don't know. Oop, there we go. Yeah, I don't know when this came out. Alright. So, yes, I really complain about this. This is a total waste of plastic. It doesn't really even hold the model, right? It doesn't actually bolt to the model, so it just sits there and kind of takes up space for no reason. I feel like to get rid of these stands and maybe put something into the model, like perhaps an interior. Well, an interior would be a lot less plastic than this and make it more realistic. So I wish they did that, because that just ended up in the trash and it's going to end up in your kid's liver later. Well, that's a pretty good comparison. The rusty front end. You got these big bars of a grill. Obviously we don't see the hood because this one's totally not missing one, but I don't think the wheels are specific to these vehicles. They're just shared amongst Muscle Machines, so you gotta take it with a grain of salt. It is a deformed, cartoonish vehicle. So, although I gotta say, it actually looks kind of like the real thing. It doesn't look that deformed here. I guess the only deformation really is just the size of the wheels and tires are jamming in here. But if you ignored this, it actually looks like a normal pickup truck, proportionally. Okay. It's got some sponsorship on the side sill here. Dynamite, something, Garrett turbos, Toyota tires, diesel, I see. Some sort of racing number. I wonder if this is a real... I gotta look up this person. Well, I'll be another case of me learning of the real world by collecting toy cars. So yeah, this thing ran up the Pikes Peak hill climb. It's a world record for the fastest diesel. That's impressive. I've been to that race. It's pretty awesome. You want to see that race. Very unique vehicles like this running up the Pikes Peak there. But when the semi-trucks go around, that's pretty crazy too. Anyhow, yeah, looking at this, and all the 128 matches, of course. I think a lot of sponsorship is going to match too, although I don't have many side images here. Actually, this doesn't, but maybe they changed the sponsorship later. Yeah, very neat. Okay, well, good for you, Mr. Birdsall, for running up the Pikes Peak. Yeah. Okay, so very nice. Don't know what this is on the real truck. No idea. There's no indication of door handles, but maybe this truck doesn't have door handles. Being a no, it does. It does. The casting just doesn't. This is all Tampo printing, I think. This is literally paint on top of this blue and the brown, so very impressive. These do roll. It is a toy. It rolls very well. It's gonna make a funky noise on like corduroy pants. So that's the tread that gives you that noise. And then it's nice that they tell you what the car is, what line it is, the overall brand, some sort of production number. It's not 164, so I can understand not having a scale there. And then if you want to swap the tires or do something, mod it, you could take it apart pretty easily. It's got some canards here, plastic headlight covers. Even the grills got some weathering effect on there. Very nice. Yeah, all that sponsorship there. And get into this engine here. So the top of an intercooler, and then it's feeding in. Well, it's getting the turbos sucking in the air. And what's that third pipe for? I don't know. I'm not sure why there would be a third pipe there. Please leave a comment. It kind of terminates here in space, but usually there's an air filter box somewhere around on one of these ends. One would assume it would be on this right? So the turbo's sucking the air through the intercooler, and then, jamming that into the engine. Oh, well, yeah, the other pipe is going into the engine. So maybe it's going the other way around. Okay, that would be the logical way. But there's an air filter down here, I guess. And there's the exhaust pipe. A little bit of an indentation, painted black, very nice. Some sort of distributor cap there. Gran Turismo. Yeah, all this weathering's quite interesting. All paint, which is neat. It's got like Ferrari F40 wheels, but in black they don't look it. Toyo tires, nicely printed here as well. There's a roll cage back here, a radiator, some sort of fan, fuel cell. This is nicely done as well. Tampo printing, pretty smooth plastic there. Chuckles Garage, okay, probably where this real car was built. And even though those aren't super thick stocks, this is actually quite rigid. It is pegging in quite a bit, but that's actually pretty good. It has to meet child safety approval, so pretty durable product, I guess. The taillights are nice because it's not just red, but they have a little black bezel around them. You got the Ford text looking good there. All in all, there's a lot of paint apps going on in this thing. It's not the prettiest vehicle to look at, but knowing that it actually was a real vehicle and it was at Pikes Peak, that really makes it nice for me. And just the amount of effort put into this thing, I really give credit to Muscle Machines there. So I gotta put this out here. This person originally bought this thing for $225, swapped out a Cummins engine in there, and now it costs $400,000, and it has 1,400 horsepower out of this engine. 1,400, that's crazy. But you need it when you're getting up to that elevation. You're losing a lot of power as you get higher up in the air. So it ran the time of under 12 minutes. So it's a 12-mile course. So 60 miles per hour, right? Is the average, if I had to guess? I'm not a mathematician. Anyways, it's a crazy course. You should really go watch it if you have any chance to. So, closest thing I have is the Audi rally car, the Quattro, right? Sport Quattro S1E2. I really wish these guys do more rally cars. That would be nice. All the rally Monte Carlo winners would be awesome if they tackled that as a collection. The Peugeot 205 and the Lancias and all that stuff. Here's another car I never knew existed in the real world prior to buying the toy of it. This is it's a Mustang. It doesn't even say what it is, but RTX I think it is. So there's a full-size vehicle of that in the real world somewhere. So very neat. And then this is a Chorokyu of a Pikes Peak Aereo, Suzuki Aereo. So Chorokyus are much smaller. From the front it's kind of like 164, and then it just goes haywire after that. But you can just see how small it is compared to this, the Muscle Machines. I think you could fit two of these in the footprint, maybe 2.5. Yeah, Muscle Machines are kind of just off on their own. They're too small for 1/43rd scale. They're too big for 1/64. They're just somewhere in between. But still, very nice. I don't mind that they lack interiors, but I do really think if they just got rid of those plastic bases, they could easily just have interiors on these, because all they have to do is switch to clear plastic on this, right? And then just mold some interior pieces. That would be really fantastic, but they probably never watch my channel. But you guys, if you have time, leave comments on their website. I've actually left comments on the Muscle Machines website saying they should do like a McLaren F1 and stuff like that. Alright, thanks everyone. We'll see you the next time we get Muscle Machines.